Hey, what's up, YouTube? Welcome to my channel, Ask Jimmy Smith. Today, I'm going to be talking to you about something that is a big problem in the industry that I'm a part of, honestly, in the industry of YouTubers, of courses, e-commerce, all these different things that are out there to help you make money. And I'm going to be talking about a big problem, which are the scams that can come from those programs. And so I'm going to tell you first some experiences that I've had in some bad programs. I'm not going to tell you what they are because that's a legality issue and I don't want to get sued by anybody, but I will tell you some red flags that came from those, what happened in my own life, as well as I'll tell you the 5 major things that you should be looking for in whatever course that you decide to invest in, whether it's course or coaching or training of some sort. No matter what it is, I'll give you the 5 things that I believe you should be looking out for and the 5 things that I typically try to look out for before I invest in any other program. So let's go ahead and get into some of the story behind, the things that I've experienced in my life. There's been a couple different programs. One was a real estate program, and I was in college. I went with my family actually, and we went to this real estate program. It was a couple-day event. It was free, which is a red flag right there. A free, fly by night. They come through the town and leave a couple days later, but it was a free event. They taught you all about real estate and just some basics of flipping properties and of doing wholesaling and bird dogging in real estate and all these different things. And they got you at that point to sign up for their next event in the area that was going to be like a 3 or 4 day event where you're going to learn about all these different things in much more detail. And you could sign up. I can't remember because it was, probably about 15 years ago now, 10 to 15 years ago. I can't remember if you had to pay for that next event or if that was also free. I want to say that you probably had to pay about 100 or 200 bucks to go, but I may be wrong on that. But anyway, so that first one, it was free at a hotel. It was a nice hotel, like at a Marriott or something. We went there, they had snacks, and the guy that was presenting was really nice. And, it was a good time of, history, I guess, to be getting into real estate. I don't believe that it was a bad decision because I know people that have done really well in real estate, house flipping and whatnot. But we decided to go to that next level course and do the 4-day thing. Well, at that multi-day event, they are then essentially working in to get you to ultimately invest in their training program. And at the time, I want to say it was about a $10,000 to $20,000 program. It was a huge, huge investment to get into that. And my family and I decided, hey, this is something that we can do together. We'd love to do it. They helped us to, I got my first couple credit cards just so I could pay for that event with my family, right? We all went on it together. Ultimately, I believe my parents took on the brunt of that payment. That was something that they wanted to do. And thank God for them to be able to do that. But it was something where we were taking out credit cards and they were encouraging us to do that. They're like, well, if you don't want to pay for it in this way, you can extend the payments essentially through credit cards. And they recommended that I get credit cards in college to pay for this thing. And it was ultimately, the training was there. They've had success stories. They're a pretty big company now. And so I'm not going to mention them at all, but that to me ended up being a very bad investment. Now the credit cards we ended up paying off. There was no issue with my credit. So I was, pretty fortunate there. But whenever everything's all said and done, it ended up being quite a waste of money from a training perspective because we didn't get out of it what we put into it. And it was a huge investment up front. They were encouraging us to take out more debt to do this. And it was a very hypey type event. You go there, you see success stories, you see people that are just crushing it, making millions of dollars a year. And it's the people that are getting paid to be on stage, but there's no one in the crowd that's necessarily a successful student. They've just got a bunch of people that are selling you this program and they're manipulating you through this type of an event. And so that to me is a huge issue, right? And I'll go through the 5 things in a minute that I think you should look for in a good program. But if you're going to some sort of a free event, whether it's for Amazon sellers, e-commerce, ClickFunnels, drop shipping, real estate, crypto, stocks, any of these other things that all exist out there, if you're going to a free event and you are in that crowd, you should be making sure that you're talking to successful students. You should be learning from them. You should not fall prey to their manipulative practices of making you feel like you have to do this now. And once they leave town, then the opportunity is gone, that you can never take them up on that again. If that's true, then ultimately it's not the best business for you to be in anyway, because you shouldn't be having to make a decision of thousands of dollars to invest in training and coaching within a weekend after you just met these people. So that was one of the stories. I ultimately, we went through some of the trainings. I put out the signs, we did that, we got some calls, and then just life happened and life got in the way and we ended up not making the most of it. I was in college. I thought I'd have more time, but I ended up not. I got into an internship and did a whole bunch of stuff that took away my time from the real estate investment program. I'm not saying that it wouldn't have worked. I'm just saying that type of an event type thing is ultimately very scammy, right? It's very pushy and very manipulative to get people there and trying to get them to trust them fast and spend a lot of money. I ended up buying a couple of rental properties through them, and those ended up not working. As I went through, it was about 5 years later, even though the training program didn't work, I still believed in their methods for passive real estate and income. And so I bought some passive rentals for real estate rentals in a different state, the sight unseen, and I trusted their vetting of the supplier. And that supplier ended up being kind of a fly-by-night company as well. So we kind of got hurt in a couple of different ways using them. And it's a pain. I mean, real estate's a great place to be. Obviously I specialize in Amazon if you've been following this channel at all, but watch out for those types of fly-by-night things where people come through town and just try to sell you on thousands of dollars, especially if they're trying to get you to take out extra credit cards for something that doesn't make sense for you. So then the second one is I invested, I want to say it was $10,000 to $15,000 after we had started our Amazon business. We were getting success. We were looking to scale it a little bit more and trying to grow. And we came into contact, I'm not sure how, with somebody that had an Amazon FBA coaching program to help us scale. And ultimately, we were going to be able to have access to their distributors for buying wholesale. And we were going to, get some training from the head guy once every couple of weeks and their whole course and all this stuff. And I think it was $10,000 or $15,000. I believe it was 10 to do that. And from a business investment standpoint, where we were at in our business at the time, $10,000 is always a lot of money, but it wasn't as egregious as I have to take out credit cards to make this work. Also, they had some success stories, and he had a multi-million-dollar Amazon business. And so I believed in that program quite a bit, but it was one that had been a little bit more short-term. They didn't have as much longevity. And so we invested into that program. We got some training. Ultimately, I believe that they did help us from a coaching standpoint. They encouraged us to scale and outsource in ways we hadn't thought of before. But I used their wholesale contacts to make a wholesale purchase through them. We had to purchase through them directly. And we had made a couple small orders ahead of time that went well. And so we ordered the products. We get invoices, distributors directly from the brands, and we were able to send them into Amazon. But there was one order where we did, it was about a $12,000 order. And ultimately the company then went under. So the leadership stopped responding to me. The wholesale accounts stopped. I think the wholesale accounts probably didn't know what they were doing and probably didn't approve of it. Now that I'm thinking back on this, at first I thought it was okay to order through them, but now that I'm looking back on it, they were probably found out that their wholesale suppliers ended up shutting them down, as my guess, and they withheld the inventory. And that company kept the funds that I had paid for wholesale and never responded to me. And so I've been trying to get in touch with them for the last 3 years. And that one hurts because it was going well, because I did trust them. And because ultimately, I don't believe that was totally my fault. I believe that was more of a scam type thing that happened, or maybe they just fell on some hard times and went bankrupt as a company and stopped working. But that is a hard one, right? There's obviously the credit cards with the real estate thing was an awful decision. I was in college. My parents and I were all excited. We've always wanted to run a business together at the time. And, we just trusted in these people because they're very good at manipulating. But the second one, we kind of vetted this person out. We were getting a little bit of success. And then ultimately they stopped They held our funds, which was probably about $20,000 of profit because of the products that we were ordering, but we lost $12,000 plus the 10 that we had paid to do the coaching with them, because then once I complained in their group, their coaching group, that, hey, they're holding my money, they kicked us out and then never gave us money back. So it was ultimately an awful experience. And so I've gone through bad experiences and I've gone through amazing experiences. And obviously I run a course and, I do some things and I'm heavily involved in a community. But aside from that, I'll suggest that at the end, who I recommend, just, because I'm in it, I've experienced it. I've had success through their program since December 2015 and have continued to help people. But I want to give you 5 things to look out for if you're dealing with any type of course, training, e-commerce, Amazon FBA, real estate, crypto stocks, etc., drop shipping, ClickFunnels, all of that. And so the first thing to look for is a free community of people that are active that you can join. So both of these places did not have at the time a free community where I could go join and there's people helping and there's a bunch of success stories coming through and there's no cost to be a part of it. And you can learn, there was nothing out there like that. So I highly recommend, if you're looking to join a course or a training program, just ask whoever it is that runs it, hey, do you have a free group that I can join just so I can mingle with you guys, just so I can make sure that it's legitimate, that I can see success stories happening. I can ask questions while I try to learn and grow into your program. Do you have something that's free for me to join? And if they don't, then that is a big red flag that they're not bringing people together to help them on a free level, to make sure that they can then bring them from the free to the more paid, stuff if they want. It doesn't have to be they give everything away to the free group, but it does have to be that they've got some place where you can go and ask questions and learn and see success stories from content that people are utilizing from their training. So the first thing is a free community that's helpful to you. And if you go to any kind of an influencer or a trainer and they say, hey, we don't have a free program, but we do have a paid one. It's a platinum level and it's $200 a month, or it's $100 a month and you get access to me a couple times a week. That does not count, in my opinion. That does not count as a community of people where you can learn, because they're trying to then get you to pay to be a part of it. Now, yes, the truth is you could pay $200 for the first month, find out it's a scam and jump out, or find out it's great and stay in the community. But you want to make sure that they've got some place free that you can go to first and see if there's success stories, people are utilizing it, people are helpful in the community, and just see the general vibe of their training and the communities that they lead. The second thing that you should be looking for in a community is what I would call, at least if you're brand new, what I would call low-hanging fruit strategies. So something where you can get in and you can start testing out their strategies without having to spend thousands of dollars on inventory, thousands of dollars on marketing, advertising, or any of their other software programs or anything. You want to find a community of people where you can get in and you can start doing this with no money. You can start doing it with $100. You can start very small, or you can start large, but you want to have that small option. And the reason I say that is because you've got a lot more ability then to, fluctuate and to be a little bit more flexible in your business. If you get in there and you're starting in this community and they're like, all right, go place $1,000 order for this inventory that may or may not sell. But after you place the order for the inventory, go find some influencers that you could pay $50 for a post or $200 for a post, and then go find some advertising that you can do on Amazon or through Facebook ads. And that's going to be another few hundred to $1,000, and try to create a community before this inventory comes in. That is a very risky proposition when there are opportunities out there where you can start making money ahead of time with $0, $100, $500, whatever it is. You can do it with a lot less money and you can get some success. And once you start getting success, once you start learning the platform and their processes with a low amount of money, then you can start to move into some of those riskier things if you decide to, if you've got the funds for it and you want to grow in that way. But if you're just getting into any type of e-commerce program or a business training program, you want to see if there are some ways that you can get in and get going from a low or no money standpoint. Definitely, at least at a minimum, I would say $100. You should probably be willing to invest into some sort of inventory or whatever the training is itself. But if you can't do that, there are always ways that you can make money from $0 as well. And I've got some of that training on the YouTube channel and whatnot. But you want to make sure that they're training you on low-hanging fruit strategies that are easy opportunities, or at least simple opportunities. I shouldn't say easy, because they all require hard work. But also, in addition to that, they have some of the more advanced strategies that then you can move up to eventually once you get used to the actual process. Now, the third thing that I recommend that you look for in a community is that there's no major sales pitch or manipulation of any sort. So you can tell in that first one, I mentioned it multiple times with the real estate, there was a lot of manipulation going, right? They know exactly the words to say. They know how to say it. They know how to structure everything to make sure what they're saying is going to get you to trigger those buy signals in your brain. And then you're going to go and talk to their people that help sell you on the program. And they're going to say, oh, it's worth $50,000, but now it's $1,000 of stuff, that you're paying for. It's worth 50 and you're getting it for $10,000. And well, for you, because of your situation, you seem like you're a good fit, we'll knock it down a little bit more. That to me is a major red flag. I've gone through dozens of courses. I have spent obviously tens of thousands of dollars on courses. Many of them have worked out. Some of them have not. But the thing that I've noticed in the ones that haven't worked out, typically they're also the ones that are the most polished in their presentation and the, most, it's hard to say, but you just kind of get a general spidey sense, right, so to speak, to that they're kind of manipulating you in a little ways, that they're clearly setting this up in a specific structure to ultimately point you to the end goal of buying something. They're going to start out with who they, what they are, where they started. They may bring in 2 or 3 success stories of people that they've trained. They're going to give you a little bit of information, but not enough to truly get started without buying their course. And then at the end, they're going to start building that value proposition. It's going to be, this is $1,000 that you get. This is $500 that you get. This is $10,000 that you get. This is $1,000 that you get. And all in all is a $20,000 or $30,000 value that you're going to get for today only $997. You have to buy it today, or you've only got 2 or 3 days to buy it before we close it. And to me, that is a huge red flag. Yes, I still buy things like that because I'm manipulative and I like to test new things out. If you've been on this channel, you've seen that I like to talk about different things. Although I believe as of the time of this recording, I've only talked about Amazon FBA, but I've done over 30 different streams of income, some relating to FBA, some to real estate, some to drop shipping, and all these things. So I still buy those things at times, but it's because I've gotten my main business to a point where it's worth me just testing things out. If you are brand new though, I do not recommend, if you see somebody with a polished presentation like that and they don't have any of these other things, then do not buy that course. I would not buy that course if I saw that they didn't have a free community. They are teaching only very expensive strategies. It's a very polished presentation, and then and manipulative structure. And then these last 2 things that I'm going to talk about right now. The fourth thing is longevity. You want to see that these people have been around for a while, or at least been in their business for a long time. Yes, you can make that up. Yes, there can be some sort of manipulation there. But if somebody is, selling a course and they just started selling this course and they've only been doing this thing for a year or 2 and they made a ton of money really quick and they're going to teach you how to get rich quick, that is a big red flag. You want to see some longevity, a long-standing business in training, or a long-standing business that they had, so that you can trust their expertise in this. You can trust that they've gone through the ups and the downs of this business model that they're proclaiming you can make some money with. You want to see longevity either in their training programs and or in their own business. And I highly recommend that you see people training that also are currently doing that business as well. And so there are a lot of people that say they did this, they made a bunch of money, so now they're selling a course on it, and they don't really do it anymore, but they aren't going to tell you that. You want to make sure that they are still actively involved in whatever business that they are proclaiming you're going to be able to make money from, because you want to see that they're also bought into the concepts, that they're going to be learning as well as issues arise in their business. They can pass that information along to you. And now the fifth thing that you want to look for, and to me, it's near and dear to my heart to say this now, is success stories. You need to make sure that they not only have 2 or 3 success stories in their pitch that they're going to give you, even 5 or 6 or 10 that they're going to give you. But I would recommend saying, hey, do you have a free community? If you do, I'd like to go see if there are success stories there. Is there a page set up dedicated to showing all of the success stories from your clients? Not 2 or 3. I'm talking dozens is what you want. You want to see probably 20, 30, 40, 50, depending on how long they have been doing this. You want to see some major success stories so that you can have some faith that, okay, this does work. And it's not going to be 5 people that they spent one-on-one time with that got success, and now they're doing a whole group project and nobody's going to get as much success with it. You want to make sure that whoever you're buying a course from has success stories to show you. And I would say at least over 20 or 30 of them, and preferably over 50 success stories is what you'd want to see in a program before you invest in it. Now, just to recap these 5 things. First, you want to see if there's a free community that's helpful that you can be a part of before you ever buy anything. They aren't going to make you buy something right now because it's never coming back. I understand, hey, we're limiting it to 20 people. We're going to open it up in the future. That makes sense. But if it's like, this is a one-time deal, you're never going to see this again, and you can never buy any other course from me again if you don't buy this, that's what you want to avoid. But ultimately, a free community that's helpful where you can spend some time, get to know the vibe, get to know the people, see successes, see questions being asked and questions being answered for free, and just be a part of that for at least a couple weeks to over a month just to get used to it. The second thing, low-hanging fruit strategies. You want to make sure whatever they're teaching, that they do give you some sort of a way to make some money through some low or very or no cost opportunities. Because if you're getting into a program that is going to be at least $1,000 up front for inventory or other things that you need to do, and they don't have anything else that they teach that is low or no upfront cost strategy, then that's kind of problematic, because that's the only thing that they teach. There's nothing else that you can learn from for free or no cost to then eventually make sure the strategies work first. I can give you free things that you can do to make money on Amazon. I can tell you free things you can do for drop shipping, for real estate even. There's ways to make money without having to spend anything in real estate. So there's a ton of opportunities. And if they don't train on that, that's problematic to me, because it's a higher risk with a lot of opportunity for failure if you're putting out $1,000 for a course plus thousands of dollars for whatever it is that you're trying to learn to do. The third thing is no major sales pitch or polished manipulation. You would get a sense for that. And I know pretty much every, major webinar I go on to learn about a new course or training, you can tell if it has been polished, if they have bought and paid for copywriters to make sure that you are, bought into this thing as you go along. And I still fall prey to some of them, but it doesn't, I also understand, I know that comes with it at sometimes, but if you see that they don't have any of these other things as well, then avoid it like the plague. If they have these other 4 things and they're just super polished and they're paying to do the best they can and get as many people in a program as they can, that's fine. But again, you want to use this checklist. The 4th thing is longevity, whether it's in their training program or in their own business that they're training you on, to make sure that they are actually bought into this. And then the 5th thing is going to be success stories and looking for testimonials of the people that they've trained. Now, the reason I say that, the reason I said that success stories is near and dear to my heart, is I've gotten over 1,000 success stories from the students that have gone through my training programs, whether it's through my book, Side Hustle to Full-Time Income, or it's through my Replens course. So you can see all of those. And let me show you these real quick. So at my website, AskJimmySmith.com/success. I've got over 500 of these for you to go through and peruse through. You can see $100,000 a month. You can see $10,000 a month. You can even see people's first couple sales as well. I put those on here because I don't want you to think that they're all, millionaires. We've got people that have humble beginnings, just like we did. We started from zero. You got people that are making their first $2,000, people making their first $1,000, their first $100 as well on here. I believe we've got some that are really low and some that are up to $300,000 per month. But you want to look for these success stories so you can peruse through all of them, right? So if you go to AskJimmySmith.com/success, you can see the stuff that I proclaim, but also one thing that I recommend in the community that I'm a part of is my silent team. And I've been a part of the Proven Amazon course for a while. That's where we started in December 2015. So I'll have a link below to their free Facebook group. It's got over 65,000 members, free Facebook group. It's an amazing community. It's the best free Facebook group. It's better than a lot of paid Facebook groups I've ever been on, honestly, but it's the best free Facebook group as well that I've ever seen. And so I highly recommend joining that. Again, completely free. You can just get in and learn about Amazon if you're interested in that. But those are the things that you want to look for, whether it's Amazon FBA scams, e-commerce scams, drop shipping scams, real estate scams. You want to look for those 5 things and see that people are ultimately having success, and the people that you're going to be paying to teach you are legitimate and do a very good job of creating community and helping people that aren't yet into their platinum and premium programs. And that's what you want to see, is a heart of service from the people that are training you to the people that they care about getting success stories from. So if you're looking or interested in selling on Amazon, we do over $1 million a year in our own Amazon business. It's a low-hanging fruit opportunity, and you can then scale up from there if you like to wholesale and private label and other things. But if you want to see that, you can go to my website at askjimmysmith.com/sell-on-Amazon. All the links will be in the description below. Please comment. Is there anything that you've seen that you want to see in a community so that you know you're not being scammed? Is there anything that you've seen regularly happen that you ultimately disagree with, or have you fallen prey to some of these scams? What do you look for in your with your spidey senses to see that ultimately you're not going to be getting ripped off from a program? But also, please like, share, subscribe to this channel. It helps me when you subscribe. I really appreciate it. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. I thank you for watching. I'm really excited to be doing more of these YouTube videos, usually about twice a week, at least in 2022. I've kept up twice a week. So I'm hoping to continue to do more of those throughout the rest of 2022 and beyond. But thank you so much for being here. I hope that you have an amazingly blessed day, and that, thank you so much for coming by. Have a good one.